What is good, my peeps? It's your Knucker Big Rucker back at you again with another action figure review. This time, a surprise figure courtesy of Hasbro Marvel Legends. This is the Mojo Deluxe figure. I just said the Mojo Deluxe figure, not the Mojo World set. That's a 3.3 figure set. Say 3.3 because it contains Mojo, Longshot, Dazzler, and a statue of Wolvie from Mojo World. And it is that set is also titled Mojo World. So this is just a single release, totally unannounced. This just sprung up over the past weekend, and you know, it started showing up, I believe, in the Midwest, and right after it showed up in the Midwest, it began showing up in Northern California. I live in Southern California, and it started showing up in Southern California, well, the day of this recording. So here we have it. There are differences between this Mojo and the upcoming one in the Mojo World set, and it's all in the coloring of Mojo himself. And the only thing I can tell you from what I've seen is that this Mojo is very plain and lacking additional paint. It's a lighter color than the upcoming one, and it's lacking paint on the body, liver spots, what have you, and whatever else was supposed to be painted on the Mojo World version. But we'll see that when we open her up. And since this is a you can look at that packaging and you can tell that Mojo is not inside this box like that. So this is essentially a Build-A-Figure in a box, and we're going to see. So I've already taken the liberty of cutting open the box so we can get to it. And right away, we've got that type of stuff. We've got things wrapped up in wax paper. Just coming out here. I mean, they are coming out. Some stuff I might have to take out off camera. As I look in the box there, and you see there is some stuff there. So yeah, the rest I will take out off camera and not bore you guys with it. So this is everything out of the box. Everything's wrapped up in wax paper. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 boxes, 7 wrappings, plus the tail, which was just in there. I actually had to rip through some cardboard just to get this out. Everything is stuck in there tightly. So when you get yours, be very careful, be diligent, but be very careful when you remove it, because it's going to offer big time resistance. So I just wanted to show you guys that. I'm not going to bore you with taking all these items out of their wax papers. So we'll be back in a hot second. And we are back. Got everything out of their respective wax paper housings, and we'll go over the pieces we have. We'll start with what we've already seen, and that's Mojo's mechanized cybernetic tail, just molded in a gray plastic, and the end there has got some red and blue points there, whatever those are supposed to be. But yeah, that's what that is. We got 2 head sculpts, as you can see, both with him looking sinister. One is just straight up grinning, while the other one is being a little bit lewd with the tongue out. We've got some conduit or tubes, whatever you want to call it, as he tries to get his apocalypse on. We have an additional set of hands here. They're kind of like One's a pointing finger hand, and the other one is just a, I guess, a kind of a grasping hand or resting hand or whatever. Then, of course, speaking of hands, we've got the upper torso with the arms and the hands connected. As you can see, these are both grasping hands. We've got the lower torso. We've got the back here. And, of course, we have his base. And I believe that the base, no, I'm just tripping. Okay, I'm just tripping. I thought the base actually took batteries. I think it does. I've got to check on that momentarily. So yeah, I was tripping. I thought that maybe it took batteries because the legs there are transparent and those look like they're bulbs, but they're actually just legs for Mojo to rest on. So that was my bad there. Anyhow, we're going to see if we can put this guy together. No instructions, but then again, we never get instructions with Build-A-Figures anyway. Yeah, we'll see what we can do here. I'm going to move things out of the way. And we'll start off with the base here. We've got the lower torso. It's got a peg hole, and there's the large peg right there. And there are two other peg holes there. One is large and one is small, and you have a large and a small peg there, so that's good guidance. So line that up if you can. See if you can get it clicked down, push down. The belly is soft too. You see me pressing in. So yeah, you just match that up, and your guide is there's already like indentations along the belly, so you know they go in where supposedly his lower deck actually connects up to his body, so that makes it easier to get that. So we've got that. I'm wondering if I should put the back in now. So there's some detail on the back there. May as well let you see that. It's got the nice conduit molded in a gray, but it's got some silver paint, and then you've got what you see there, looking pretty cool. So yeah, I think I'm going to put this in now, and so that goes in just like that. Then I think what I'll do is, before I put this upper torso on, I will choose a head sculpt. I will go with just the plain grinning one. We're on a dumbbell joint, as you guys can see there. Let's see if I can do this on camera. Pretty hard to do this. Let's see if I use the table to help me. So now I'm going to do this off camera, save some time here. And there it is. Just had to apply some heat. So now there's also a type of dumbbell joint at that lower torso, square peg style. So I'm going to try to apply that. It's kind of off kilter, and see if I can get this on camera as well. And so there that is. Try to get this moved to the front there. Get this raised up some so you can see our pudgy little friend here. Roger that. Now we've got the conduits. So I'll take one, and I believe this will go yep, it's better off this way. You have a as you can see there, you have an end that's already curved. I believe that serves better going into Mojo's shoulder, and then the other one goes into his rear, we'll call it the seat there. And then we'll do the same thing with the other. And see what we got. Thank you guys for bearing with me. This is educational because you all are going to have to go through this yourselves if and when you get your own Mojo to the Joe. Make sure I did that right. Yeah. So get that in there. And then you have that. I guess I can make it look a little bit better than it curving out like that, but we'll get that on point after we get them all together and take a look at it. Finally, we have his cybernetic tail. You see the peg hole, and there's the big peg right there. That's self-explanatory. Just goes in, and there we have it. Move his other head and hands out of the way. Turn his legs down, which are articulated. We'll get into that momentarily. I just want to get him standing up because we have got our Mojo completed right here. And we'll see what we can see in terms of Mojo supporting his own weight. And it looks like he actually can. You got to work with him to do it though. Yeah. You know this is live. We're not stopping. Like I said, everybody's going to have to go through this on their own. And now I've got to get him a little bit zoomed out just so we can try to get that tail in there. So there's the tail right there. I'll have to do some adjustments. I can see that that torso isn't fully on the base there, but that's Mojo totally put together. I'm going to get him tightened up and then we'll be back. Okay, we are back, and I've done my level best to tighten Mojo up a bit, and so here we are, and he is resting on those three legs that I thought were bulbs earlier, which is a good thing because it actually got all of him in frame. So yeah, so this is our Mojo Deluxe version, and he comes with as you might imagine, a lot of articulation. We'll get to that in a hot second. I may as well show you that other head sculpt in more detail. And so here we are. This is what it looks like. And here we have him up close. You see he's got that tongue out, the nice crazy jagged teeth, painted nicely. Eyes, he's looking totally diabolical there. And it's made It's not really soft, but yeah, it's pretty pliable. You've got the cybernetic line work up there at the top of the head. Speaking of that head, looking at the hair, he's got metal, a metal dew there, as you could see. And yeah, and it's basically the same on the other head sculpt. The only thing is that the mouth, the teeth are closed with that grin. He's got the beady eyes. They're like painted in a, I want to say a kind of an amberish type color in there, or gold or something. But yeah, they are beady, pretty nice. And of course, flipping the script, just showing the other set of hands there, just molded in that same yellow. They do have some, you see the paint there, as it there's a wash right there. The paint changes color there on the inside of his thumb and forefinger, and as well as the outside of the hand itself too. So it really is what it is. As for the articulation on Mojo, we'll start at the back with that tail. The tail can rotate, as you can see right there. The edge of the tail is also got articulation. You go left, right, up, down, and you can spin it. So that's pretty cool. Head has articulation, but you're not going to get too much because of where it's placed, as well as the upper torso. It's got articulation, but you're not going to get much because of, well, yeah, where it's placed. The arms you can get up a little bit more than 90. It could rotate 360. I just lost one of the conduits. I'll leave it off for the sake of showing articulation. You've got a bicep swivel. You've got double jointed pinless elbows, and you've got horizontal hinges for both wrists, and they do swivel. As far, obviously he has no legs of his own, but all of the legs, which he has 6 of them, they're all articulated in multiple places. Right there at the where the legs meet the base, you've got that. They also can rotate. You've got a joint at the first joint, and it also rotates, and you have a joint at the third section, and that rotates as well. And that's the same for all of them. As far as his claws here, it also rotates and swivels where it's connected up at. You've got swiveling at that first joint, and as well as articulation back and forth. The same goes for where the claw connects up at that third joint. So pretty good. The claws don't have any articulation, but yeah, that's pretty cool there for our Mojo. And now for the comparison that we've all been wanting to see. We've got the Toy Biz version. This was a Build-A-Figure of Mojo, and we have, of course, our Deluxe on our left there. You can totally see the differences in the paint, the color scheme for these two. Toy Biz was known for their beautiful paint apps and the washes they would give. They were, once Hasbro finally got on their stride and started coming out with nice body molds, what have you, then the criticism for Toy Biz went more towards concentrated on how janky and anatomically incorrect the body molds were. The great thing about Mojo is that he was always anatomically correct. He's body positive, and got the long extendable arms, which is how a lot of Toy Biz's figures were. They had arms that were too long for their bodies. But those paint apps, everybody kind of sort of looked past that because the paint apps were excellent. You can see it just right here. That yellow, that's more the color that Mojo's supposed to be. And I believe, even though it might not be as dark as our Build-A-Figure Mojo, I believe the Mojo World version is going to be darker, will come close to the Build-A-Figure's color. And that wash is just incredible, as you can see there. You've got You've got some paint apps there on the side where there's like emblems of Mojo himself. Looking on the side of our Mojo here, the Deluxe, he doesn't even have those emblems. So unfortunately, it's like that. On the front there, you've got some paint to show, I guess, LEDs for our Deluxe Mojo. Our Build-A-Figure Mojo has paint on this console right there, so that's cool. On the other side, he does have those Mojo-esque emblems. Looking at the front there, his face, he's got some excellent conduit as far as hair. See if I can bring this up so you can see that. You see they got different colors there. And then if you look way in the back there, you can see even more conduit going through. So definitely a lot of attention to detail. His tail has some paint going through it. You see the striping there, whereas the Deluxe doesn't have any paint at all. It's just that gray. And of course, when we're talking about the tip of the tail, it's got plenty of paint too. You see the reds, the greens, and the blues and yellows and greens and reds right there where he fires his energy projectiles. He's got some paint right here, which is probably supposed to be like an LED. More conduit. You could see back there. That's just crazy. So yeah, then turning to the back, we'll turn to the back for both of our Mojos. And then once again, night and day. Even though our Deluxe Mojo is huge, definitely huge, it just can't touch the Toy Biz version for the paint apps. You can see all of this conduit, this coloring here, back here. This is just banging. This is incredible. It's amazing how old this is, and it still holds up, if not for the size. You know what I'm saying? And look at all of that. And all we get as far as paint apps with our Mojo, we've got some cybernetic connections there on the lower torso, as you can see there. And as far as the back itself, you've got some blue and red LED readouts, a couple of dots of red paint in the upper portion of the base. But the conduit is just silver. You know, I mean, they did paint it so it's different than the rest of the back of this chair, which is just molded in that gray. But I tell you, you can't unsee this. So in terms of size, Hasbro wins. In terms of paint detail, it isn't even close. Toy Biz, after all of this time, is still the league leader. In terms of the Toy Biz articulation, that's another spot where the Deluxe version wins, because all these do on the Build-A-Figure is you've got rotation at the base area. Yeah, that's all you get. There is no articulation anywhere else except for where the legs meet the base, and you've already seen the points of articulation that the Deluxe edition's legs have. So yeah, wow. I mean, I've got to replace the Build-A-Figure with the Deluxe in my X-Men Villains display, but I'm going to be kind of sad doing it because this Mojo looks good. I wish there was some way we could Thanos snap this to this size, and then it would be, and that articulation as well, then that would be the near perfect Mojo. But alas, we can't, so it is what it is. The only other comparison I will make will be with Spiral, which we need an updated version of her. I think that we should have gotten Spiral instead of Dazzler. The reason I say instead of Dazzler, we've already gotten a Dazzler from a retro series figure, a retro carded figure. Only thing different with this, with the Dazzler we're going to get, is the head sculpt. And the other reason is Dazzler is from Earth. Longshot is from Mojo World. Spiral, Mojo World. Even though she was, believe she was actually a human, and she went through some sort of process that turned her into Spiral with the 6 arms and stuff. But that was of Mojo World. So you know, and whenever you think of Mojo, if you know anything about he and the Mojo World and Mojo TV and all that stuff, Spiral is always there. She's a spellcaster, and she's a, as you can see, a somewhat expert swordswoman. So I've got Mojo's other set of hands and his other head sculpt on, with that nasty tongue out, pointing at something. And yeah, this is a very nice set, very nice set. So to sum it all up, I just said it's a nice set. It's huge. You saw the comparison with the previous Mojo, the Build-A-Figure, and with a standard sized Marvel Legend. And so you could see that he's basically the scale he should be, because Mojo's a big boy, let me tell you. And this really conveys that size. I love the articulation of the limbs as well as his arms. Very nice. As far as the cons, the paint apps on the base leave a lot to be desired. They look very plastic-like, whereas on the Build-A-Figure, they were painted. The legs, I didn't even mention that the legs were painted silver, metallic kind of silver. I was so busy concentrating on those brass-colored emblems that adorn the sides of his base that I failed to acknowledge the nice paint that his legs had on that figure, even though they're not articulated except for being able to rotate at the base, where the base and the legs meet. As far as the paint apps, obviously the Build-A-Figures got it going on with the paint apps. This is as Dan Yoon, shout out to Dan Yoon, said in a tweet either earlier today or yesterday, that this deluxe version is a more jaundiced version of what's going to happen with the Mojo World set. That's going to have some more paint apps, better paint apps. I had also acknowledged the change in colors on Mojo's hands, but that same changing into pink also applies there underneath his boobages, and down there where his gut meets his base, and around his shoulders. So there's that there. I neglected to mention that. It's also along his elbows and forearms. So he does have that. So he does have some paint, not much, and it won't be as much as what will come with the Mojo World version of it. The articulation with the tail is nice, and even though the points where it's colored, I'm glad it is colored, it's still not as intricate as on the Build-A-Figure. But that was then. That was Toy Biz. That's how Toy Biz went down. We by now should know what to expect from Hasbro. They're not going to go all out with their paint apps, and they're definitely not going to go all out with a version that was unannounced and is not supposed to be as well painted as what's going to come out in that set that we're about to get. One thing I should mention too is the price. This price at Target is going for $41.99, which is incredible price. I don't know if it's a mistake or not, but if it is and you're interested in getting Mojo, I suggest you get him before they correct that mistake, before they wake up and be like, wait, hold it now. So yes, but this is $42. The set that's coming out, I think it's like $130, which is crazy because you're talking about the two figures. You figure they'd be about $25 a piece. That's $50, and then you've got that statue of Wolverine or Wolvie because it's from Mojo World. I don't know what to quantify that in terms of price. It can't be as much as a 3 3/4 inch figure, which I think are $19 now. Lord help us all. So I'll go by their old price, make it 15, which is still too much for that. So now you're talking about 65. So then, yeah. So something is wrong. Something is off with the price, but who cares? It's off for once in this day and age in our favor. So once again, I don't know if it's a mistake that it's $42, $41.99. But if it is, hurry up and get yours. They're coming 3 to a case, and it seems like they're getting a case. So the stores are getting them at least 3 at a time. So keep that in mind. And yeah. Anyway, this was a very long one, longer than normal for me, which, you know, they usually get long. I've tried to do better with that, but I believe that this guy rated a prolonged review video. So yeah, I got so enamored and intrigued with Mojo that I neglected to ask you guys to like and subscribe. So I'm going to do that now. Like this video, share it now that we're coming to the end, and most definitely while you're down there, subscribe, and let's keep this ship afloat. And if you got any comments, questions, concerns, criticisms, you know already that I'm here for it, so hit me with them. And if you want to be notified for the next time I upload a video, hit that notification bell and you will be so notified. On behalf of our big boy Mojo here, lights, camera, action, I am your host, The Ruckus, humming, coming at you, leaving you with this. Remember, the hunt continues. And I'm out. Peace.